The best way he said for anyone that doesn't know English to learn English well, how get a girlfriend.
As I said, the intention is to learn, bro. You can learn from anywhere.
Bro, we used to bring our phone to school and then we used to go inside the drama room, lock ourselves inside, we used to watch a movie for a good 3 hours, bro.
Okay. For me, it is okay to get embarrassed in the age of like 16, 18, 22, more than getting embarrassed in later. But speaking English and studying English is two different things. So whatever the theory was there, every words that I didn't understand, I had a dictionary, so I used to write the Tamil meaning on top of it. No, actually, to be honest, this is not only for the podcast, it happened in real life, so that helped. I had to say it, so. And I won the Junior Nationals Doubles Championship in 2017, Under 18 Junior National Doubles Championship.
No.
And
Srinath, very nice to have you here. Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Success Podcast. I'm very excited to introduce our guest here today. It's a very special friend of mine, Uday Chandran Srinath. So Srinath has been a tennis player, a national tennis player for as far as I can remember him, right? And he's been a studious student at the same school as me, and he's been an outstanding student at the University of Sri Jayewardenepura, and currently now he's in the corporate sector. He's pursuing tennis also. So the reason I have invited him on the conversation, on the podcast today, is just to get an idea of how good communication has helped him throughout his journey up to now. Srinath, very nice to have you here.
thank you, Shashank. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. How's your day going? All good?
All good, all good. It's a bit tiring after last night, you know the reason.
Of course, we had a wedding. We had a great time. And you went for tennis in the morning as well.
Yeah, bro. So I think left the wedding around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I had tennis practice from morning from 8 to 9. So after 8, 9, I'm right here with you.
I'm glad you could come despite your busy schedule.
Always for you, bro, always.
So tell me a bit about when you first started playing tennis. What was your journey like when you first got into it?
Yeah, so given that, in terms of my tennis background, so my grandfather, grandmother, and especially even my father, so all three of them were like groundsmen at SLT. So even like from my childhood, I was living in Sri Lanka Tennis Association. So given that fact, I was always exposed to tennis from the day I know. So from there onwards only, everything started. So I started playing tennis. So I was living in SLTA basically. So then I would just watch that sport every single day in the morning and evening, and then so tennis started right there.
So you are a epitome of living, breathing, and eating tennis.
Back then, yes.
So how did the journey progress? What have you achieved in terms of being a tennis player? How has tennis, the sport itself, helped you in your general life?
Yeah, so basically because of, tennis helped me a lot in my life, because wherever I am currently now, it's mostly I would give it to tennis, mainly because of the fact that I think I started playing tennis at the age of 3. Like I said, I was exposed to tennis right from the day I was born, so it was just there for me. So from then onwards, I got a lot of help from the coaches. And then I started playing tournaments, and then from there onwards, victories came along, and then I got better opportunities. That's how I got into the school that we both studied, and then from there onwards, it's like a long journey. So from there, tennis, from school days. So I was playing from myself, from my personal self. I think I played my good tennis in under 16 and under 18, and I won the Junior Nationals Doubles Championship in 2017, Under 18 Junior National Doubles Championship, and then from there onwards, A-levels was there, and then uni also I played tennis. First 2 years I couldn't play tennis because of COVID. So the third year and fourth year I played tennis for my university, that is University of Sri Jayewardenepura, and then onwards I played some tournaments at that time as well. So yeah, tennis has been quite a long ride, and then everything came along with tennis only.
Have you represented Sri Lanka in foreign tours and so on?
Yeah, I only represented Sri Lanka in one thing, that was like a development camp held in Thailand. That was in 2015. So that's the only representation. I only represented Sri Lanka in an under 16 development camp held in Thailand.
Right, right. What are your, do you have any other national records and so on when it comes to tennis itself?
In terms of national records, I think not a national record, but then Kavink and I, so we used to play doubles for inter-schools for like 7 years, and we never lost a inter-school doubles match. So I think that would be
really?
a record. Yeah.
So you all have always been champions, like all island
No,
champions?
so every match that we played, we never lost in terms of doubles in inter-schools.
damn.
So yeah, I mean, you know Kavink and I, so yeah.
I do know. So give me a bit about your school background as well. Did you start off now? The reason is you have performed really well at your university, right? And you've got a first class degree, and you were a top performer there in sports as well. So obviously, in your university life, speaking English would have been a big
Yeah.
tool that you would
Yeah.
have used to be successful, right? Did you start off from an English-speaking background? Did you start off from an English-speaking culture? What was your initial school life like? Give me some background there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question, Seshan. So I'm definitely not from an English-speaking background. So it all started off like this. So like I said, I started tennis at the age of 3, and then I was growing up. You know, I don't have to. I mean, you definitely know tennis is a sport where like English is a very common language, right? So for me, when I went in, so obviously it was like a bit difficult because I'm not coming from an English-speaking background. So then, like in tennis, every under 10 or under 12, everyone was speaking in English, and then I came to Peters, and then it was all English.
What was your school before Peters?
1 to 5, grade 1 to 5 I was in Hindu college.
Next door.
Next door. Just next door.
You walked here.
Just walked. And then, yeah, so grade 6 I came to Peters, and then, you know, then when I went to Peters, like it's all English, right? Then yeah, like you said, so it was
At
like,
St. Peters, it was all, you joined Tamil medium, right?
yeah,
initially?
but then tennis team was all English.
Tennis was all English, okay.
Yeah, it was just there, bro. Come on. And then, so then I understood for a fact that, okay, now this language or that English requirement is much of a big importance for me back then. Then, you know, just that, then I thought to myself, okay, you know, I'm going to learn this language. I'm just going to interact, because it's not only for tennis, but I like realized it at a very young age that English is a very crucial language for me to learn. And from there onwards, you know, I just followed some certain techniques, and, you know, that's how I think I learned.
Do you
English.
speak English at home?
No.
What do you
It's
speak?
Tamil. Yeah.
So what are the techniques you use to kind of build up English? Because I'm assuming since you were in Tamil medium also, you didn't speak in English in class.
No.
No, all Tamil.
Yeah.
So how did you pick up English?
Yeah. So I think for me to explain this, I should go back to my Hindu college, like grade 3, this thing. So when I was in grade 3 for itself, you know, like when I was playing tennis tournaments, and obviously when you win matches or when you lose matches or something, sometimes some, you know, parents come and speak to you or something. Then they come and obviously they speak in English. They say, okay, Puta, you played well or something. Then, you know, sometimes I don't know what to say. I used to say, okay, thank you, auntie, or something. But then later on, then I realized, I mean, more than me, I think my mother realized that, you know, he needs to learn English. So she put me to a spoken English class back in grade 4 and 5. So it was like every Saturdays, I remember 4 to 6. So I actually didn't like it. I mean, to be honest, I didn't like it. Because I think I was the smallest kid there, learning English with that set of people. I was in grade 4 and I was 9 years old. But then actually, to be honest, that class actually helped me. So I had to learn about basic grammar to everything. But then got a big opportunity. I passed scholarship, came to Peters, and then boom, now everything is English. The tennis team to everything. So then the technique I use for session, it's basically, I would say it's because before I speak or before I like wanted to learn, I just observe people on how they speak, what sort of words they use, how was the grammar they were using. And I still do remember there were days I just go home and, you know, I just practiced. If they ask a question like this is the answer I should give. So it was like a pre-made answers for everything. For everything I was like, okay, I should answer like this. So then over time, I saw how my friends were communicating, what were they saying. Then I started watching movies, and from those, like, so basically my first thing was I learned from observing people on how they speak.
So you learn completely by yourself, is it?
Yeah. Observe.
That's crazy, because you and I met when you came to my class for A-levels.
Yes.
right? When we became prefects, rather.
Yeah.
So from the time I remember you, you have been able to speak pretty good English,
Yeah.
which means it's fantastic. I mean, did the school English speaking or the English teaching at school help you out, or was it something that you completely built up by yourself?
It's a combination of all the factors, Seshan, I would say, because actually school helped me, and then I also had that. I feel like I also that. So I would say it's the need, because for me learning English was a need that back then, because it was there, because I felt that that was a need for me, because if I am going to play tennis, if I'm going to continue in this, if I'm going to perform well, for me English was like a tool, like it was a very important tool. I felt it, I understood it, then I had to work for it. And then I would say even my friends also really helped me, because when you're learning and when you're like talking like that, obviously not everything would be perfect. So normally what people think is if you're speaking wrong English or something, sometimes people will like embarrass you, or anybody, like there's an idea like that, no? So yeah, I think I wouldn't say that I never had any embarrassment. Obviously there were days.
Bro, අපේ යාළුවොත් එක්ක ඉද්දී
Still there are.
so many embarrassments, bro.
It's a very common thing now.
You must be used to all the insults, Mashan.
So it's like, so if I'm coming and meeting and if I don't get embarrassed, bro, it's like my day is incomplete again. Like it's like I'm very used to it. Yeah, but back then when I was like playing tennis when I was small, like sometimes embarrassing, like it just hurts, like it just hits you then. But then I was like, come on, it's fine. Let's learn. If someone embarrassing, or if I tell a word wrong or something, and if people are smiling, I learned that. I was like, okay, that's the wrong word. Then I learned, and I had good set of team members as well. So every time when I felt like I'm speaking something wrong or the grammar was wrong, they never said anything wrong. They just was like, Machang, you should tell it like this, or Machang, make a Machang, make a varadi. So
These were Peterites.
sorry.
These were Peterites, your
Yes.
friends. Wow.
Yeah, so teammates, you know some of my teammates as well. So
I'm surprised, I have to say.
no, actually, to be honest, this is not only for the podcast; it happened in real life. So that helped. I had to say it. So it helped me, and to be honest, even the school seniors, and it's like, so I would say that need and that environment helped me to learn, and I also had the willingness. I think need, willingness, and I would put the environment. All three just helped me. So by the time, so 6 to 11, I was in Tamil medium and A levels. Obviously, I moved to English medium. So that switching to that English medium also because of that need, that willingness, that need basically. Because I knew for a fact that if I want to pursue higher studies, it's all going to be English. So more than going to a place where everything gets complex, I just want to learn it from school itself, to study from English and then go from.
Did any new opportunities open up to you because you came to English medium?
I mean, yes, very much, Shashank. Like more than opportunity, I would say it helped me a lot later on, right? Because English medium from Tamil, a boy from studying from Tamil medium from grade 1 to 11 and moving to English medium, that was like a big, that was a big step for me because, like I said, no English background at my house or anything. So studying English medium all alone, so it's all on me. And obviously I'm not gonna, I can tell this now because when I wanted to move to English medium, many people who were really close to me didn't like it. They were like, you're taking a wrong decision, it's not gonna help you. Not gonna help you now. Do A levels in the most comfortable medium you are and do that. But then I thought behind my head, but there were some people who were like really, really supportive. They're like, no, you take the decision, this will help you along in the future. So I think, looking back at it now, I think I made the right decision. But yes, I wouldn't say it's an easy journey because my first term, I still remember, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. But then I told myself, it's fine. The disaster is here because I felt like if I go outside and get embarrassed, it will be more embarrassing. So it's better to get embarrassed now. So that's how I just stick to it.
So you ended up getting 3 A's for your A levels?
2 A's, 1B.
2 A's and 1B. Nice. So what was the journey like? You said the first term was disastrous. How did you pick up from that?
Yeah, the first term was disaster. To be honest, it was a disaster. And then I still remember after the first term, I remember, I think some of my friends came and told me, in vain, what did you do? You would have stayed here, something. You would have done what you could have done or something. Then I think that was the turning point when they came and say you could have done what you could have done. Why are you trying to do something you are not okay with? Then I felt like, okay, then that only made me realize, okay, this is the place I need to start. So Seshan, so starting from that after the first term, the way I studied was simple. So that BS econ notes, right? So whatever the theory was there, every words that I didn't understand, I used to, like, I had a dictionary, so I used to write the Tamil meaning on top of it.
Really?
And every time when I study, so I get that meaning from Tamil meaning, I get the concept in the head like that, and I used to practice it in English. So I just work for it, like I don't know, I just work for it. So like I told you, so when we met so we met each other in prefectship. So by that time, you obviously, like, I could speak English, but speaking English and studying English is two different things. So for me, speaking English was okay, but studying English was a whole different thing, because you had to write it in English, the questions were different and everything. So then, yeah, so I used to write like that until I got the hang of it. I used to write everything in Tamil, the meanings, and then after I practice, after some time, it was okay for me. Then I just continued it.
How did you navigate prefectship? Because now one thing Mahanama told me was that when he first came to prefectship, he had quite a tough time navigating it, because he came from singular medium and he struggled to gel with the English medium people that were there, and then a lot of opportunities that came in prefectship also came to people that could speak English well. So because of that, he said initially, at least, he picked up fast and he was able to move up really quick. But he said initially when he came in, there was a sense of fear, there was a sense of nervousness when dealing with this type of situation. Did you ever have that when coming in?
Yeah, I mean, just because from Tamil medium only, I think initially when we joined prefectship, it was only 4 people. So obviously, I think we were like gosh, so I think, I mean, when we went for the first meeting itself, I'm sure there were around 60 people. Or
Yeah, there were 60 people.
60 to 70 people. And then I was like, I still remember I was telling Jeremy, I was like, Machan, we'll go in, we'll see. We'll see how things goes.
Yeah.
We'll stay for a week and we'll see. And then I was like, we'll go. And we just went. We opened the sister floor and this thing. 60 people. I was like, should we actually go in? But then, so that time my tennis captain was the DHP. Davishka was the DSP. So then, and Srinath was the senior prefect. So then, then I was like, they were like, no, you have to do this. Then I was like, okay. And then I stayed, and then, like I said, so initially that gelling period was a bit tough, because obviously I can understand, because English medium people were different. Like, we were like
we were in different groups,
different groups. And then after some time, I think, like, when we started working together, and I think especially after sport, I mean, when we started working the sports meet period, it was okay, because after that, I think from English medium side, then I knew at least 1 or 2 people from English medium. So that's how I think it got clicked, and then, like, we somehow gelled together, and like, I think I would agree with Manama. So after some time, it became okay. Initially, that nervousness.
Facing those initial interviews and all would have been
pretty nervous.
Quite challenging.
Yes, quite challenging in the first few, the first 2 days where you had to give an introduction. You had to give an introduction in front of like 60 people. You had to tell about everything, and then I was like, okay, that was pretty nervous. And then after that, it just helped. And honestly, like, looking back, that decision only helped us. I mean, not only me, I'm pretty sure our entire set, like, it helped us a lot.
After A-levels, you got into Sri Javardhanapura, right? What did you study there?
So I did my bachelor's in sports science and management.
Why?
Okay, that's quite a story. So the story is like this. So when I was joining A-levels, so I just wanted to do English medium, and I just continued it. So but I anyways had a thought behind my head that, I have seen, so do you remember, like, in A-level days, so people who do like A-levels better, they get a felicitation. Like, they walk in. So I remember, I think during grade 10 or 11, my mother came and told me, I went and told her, and all this stuff. And then she was like, assembly, how does it get? For me, I had this motivation, okay, one day I'm going to take my mother to an assembly. I'm going to show it to her. So and then that's my main reason for me to work like a lot on my A levels, and with all God's grace it happened. And then to be honest, bro, I was never planning to go to university. I was doing ACCA back then. I was just full chill.
You completed ACCA? No.
No. So I was doing ACCA, and then out of nowhere, then this local university applications was open. So then state university application, and then I was like, 2 years B side. For me it was registered that if you get only 3 years you can go for state university. So I don't think anyone from my family this thing would have went for a local university. I mean to do bachelor's. I don't know. So I didn't have any knowledge. So I mean even to this day, my tennis coach like Patrasa, in tennis. So he only called me and told, see, there's a degree called sports science. You better go and do it. It's good for you. You know what I told? What I said in the first place? I was like, so why should I do sports science? I did commerce for A levels. Why should I go and do it? Even till this day, I mean, he just tells me, honest, to be honest, that's the first thing I told. Because then he told me to speak to someone at Japura, and then I went and spoke to that Ayya, and then he told me how much of a scope this degree has and everything. Then I thought to myself, okay, you know what? I also want to do a degree, so I was like, okay, fine, let me do this degree. It's like a very new thing. I don't know what is inside, so I was like, okay, let me just go and give it a try. And then that's how I joined sports science.
Degree is fully in English.
Fully in English.
How easy or hard was it to navigate that space?
To be honest, Ishan, it was quite I wouldn't say easy, but it was quite like convenient for me. Like it was okay for me because I did my A levels in English medium, so it was like okay for me. I'm like really honest. Like it was really okay for me.
Nice. So you also were doing tennis on the side, right? And you were involved in a lot of clubs, societies, because every time we will see on our prefix group, congratulations, congratulations. I got tired of seeing it after a while. What things were you doing in university outside of obviously the degree itself?
Yeah, so like you said, I was playing tennis. Then I was involved in the road track club, and then I was involved in the sports council of my university, and then I was also involved in my department team, like team of sports science. Yeah, only those 4 things.
Right. How were you navigating all of that while working towards a first class?
Yeah, so it's like this session. So initially when I went to uni, so obviously I wasn't planning to go to university. So everything was new for me. So when I went there, first 2-3 months was going, I was getting to know people there, and then COVID came. Then everything was online. So when it was online, then this road track club was there, and then I thought because back then in school we had Interact, but I didn't do Interact. So then I wasn't a member of Interact club. Then I thought, okay, I'll try road track at uni. So then I joined road track at uni. I did road track. While I was doing road track, then I anyways was planning to play tennis back in uni. So while I was playing tennis, I was playing tennis in uni. I got this opportunity to work in sports council. And then on my final year, I was working for my department as well. Yeah, so in terms of that, I would say it's just that while I was working on myself and the degree, while I was just going along, these opportunities came up, and then whatever the opportunity that I felt like personally it's good for me, I just chose it. And just from there onwards, then while I was working for all those, then it was quite like time management and all this stuff were there, and then everything worked out well.
For those that are in university right now, see, when you go to university, whether it be private or local, everyone aims to get a first class degree, but not everyone ends up getting it. How did you study to get your first class? Was there any specific strategies you used? Was there anything you implemented to make sure that, okay, by this time I need to be at an average where I'm going to get a first class?
Okay, so if I'm being really, really honest, when I went to uni the first 2 years, so for me it was like when I went for an exam, I just wanted to give my best. So I just thought to myself, okay, every single subject that I do, I'm gonna just go give my best. So I'm being really honest, like I told you, I'm not coming from this background of all these big things. So I actually only I got to know about these classes, first class, second class, and everything is in the second year. I'm being really honest, because like I said, we went to COVID, so it was all online. So no one much, we were not interacting much with people. Everything was online, so I didn't know much about things. So only from second year I had a friend. So she had two brothers who got this first class and everything. So she was coming and telling, Srinath, this is what this is it. Then I was like, okay, what? Then I was like, pause. What are these? I have no idea what are these. Then only she explained, and then I was like, okay, that's quite a good thing, because we are going to university, so obviously, like you said, local or private or whatever, like you are putting your time and effort, right? So might as well just do your best. So rather than me, just planning like everything like big things, I only what I did was I just planned this semester. Okay, the semester I am, how many subjects do I have? So after some time, after like 2-3 weeks, you know what subjects are hard for you. Then I shortlisted those, and then those subjects I put in more effort. The other subjects which I felt a bit okay, like I said, since I did my English medium back in A levels, it was like a big help for me in my university studies, because the language was convenient. So it was me about putting in time and just working for it. So then that each semester I used to plan, okay, this semester, this subject, I'm trying to get a result on this much. This subject, I'm trying to get a result of this much. So like that I was working on it. I was just planning for it. And then like each semester I planned. I didn't plan way too ahead, like by 4 years how much I should have. This semester, okay, this was a plan. If I felt like okay, I did this better, the next semester. So I went semester by semester. That all started, to be honest, the first year until the second year, first semester, it was like I was just going with the flow. Only from the second semester, I used to plan. I was like, okay, this is what I want, and I just planned, and just everything came along.
That's interesting, because now even when it comes to my public speaking training or trainings that I do for students, a lot of students have this, there's two things that they have. One is that they have the fear that they can't speak in front of people. So there's constantly negativity going on in their brain. And the second thing is they have this goal that I have to be able to speak English well by the end of this term. But the thing is, no one puts in the work. Now, I wouldn't say no one, but most people don't put in the work each week in order to improve to get to their goal. Yeah. Right? So what you mentioned is actually quite interesting, because instead of focusing on that first class degree, you focused on getting through it semester by semester and giving it your best in every semester. Yeah. That's a fantastic mindset to have, and I think for anyone that is looking to improve their English speaking skills, that is looking to improve any skill, for that regard, right? Now, what we spoke about was not about speaking English. Yeah. It was about getting a first class degree in your university, right? So whether it's that, whether it's running a business, whether it's doing your work, whether it's working in a corporate company, instead of focusing on that end goal, if you actually focus on it, on the tasks you have to complete in that moment, I think people can achieve a lot of things in their lives.
True. Yes, and other thing I would say, like if I'm coming back to in terms of speaking English, like you said in public speaking, first, like you said, they have the fear, and number two, they don't put in the work. For me, I think, like I said, if I go back to my like junior days of playing tennis, speaking in English, like I said, more than it's, while the fear was there, and it was a need for me as well. So I think in terms of speaking English, like you said, putting in the work, and that fear, like if you like, I think the fear is basically not to get embarrassed, right? Like okay, මෙයා මොනා හිතයිද, මිනිස්සු hina වේද. So for me, I was thinking way ahead. I was like thinking, okay, for me it is okay to get embarrassed in the age of like 16, 18, 22, more than getting embarrassed in later. That was my mindset. I was like, it's fine. I can get embarrassed in front of like 10 to 20 people here. It's better, more than getting embarrassed on a on a big place, like on a speech or something. When you're giving a speech to a big place, I felt like, okay, let me speak here, practice here, get embarrassed, it's totally fine. Because whoever is laughing here, all my friends or people I know, it's fine, they will laugh for some time, like 1 year or 2 years. Every time I meet, they might laugh, but I don't mind, because the first thing that was going through my head is, I want to learn. I wanted to learn. Because I think if anyone who's watching this, like in terms of public speaking, because like I said, I'm also not coming from a English speaking background. So all that I'm saying is, understand that just it's okay to be embarrassed. Like it's totally fine. But just always make sure that you just go out there and, you know, learn. Just if you are, I think that's a mindset session. I'm not saying that I have that big mindset or anything, but my belief is simple. It's simply that if you want to learn, if your focus is on learning, you won't bother about getting embarrassed. If you're bothering about getting embarrassed, then it's like that you are just expecting others to give you some validation. But if your internal thing is like only you want to learn, then it's totally about you learning. It's only about you learning. So even if other people laugh, you don't mind it because you are learning. So if you make a mistake and if others are laughing, then if your intention was to learn, then you are like, oh, okay, cool, I learned this. Okay, this is a mistake I made. So next time you won't do it. I mean, rest of your life you won't do it, because if that mistake is so big and you remember it. So I think more than doing it in a way where other people are expecting, I want to learn public speaking or English communication or anything. Don't do it because others are expecting it from you. You expect it from yourself. You learn because you want to learn. Then you won't, that fear and everything will go.
That's interesting, because when it comes to public speaking, what stops a lot of people is that fear of embarrassment. And people are scared to speak in front of an audience because they are scared of making mistakes and they're scared of people saying things about them.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can't learn anything if you don't make mistakes, because none of us are good at everything.
Definitely. Yes.
Right? We have to make mistakes, we have to make those errors in order to learn and in order to perform better later on. I mean, even as a sportsman, you would know this, right?
Definitely.
I mean, you do training, yes? When the kids come to you and when adults come to you to learn, all of them make a lot of mistakes. They're not good, they're not great, right? And you start from there, you continue from there, and you keep practicing until you get better. One of the things that I have noticed is, when it comes to doing a sport, people seem to understand the fact that, oh, okay, I'm going to be bad at first, then I need to practice for a lengthy period of time, and then I'll get better. With speaking, people seem to want to improve in a day, in 1 week, in 2 weeks. You have courses like this, in 10-day courses, 12-day courses, right? People don't want to put in that effort to learn English, to learn how to speak confidently over a period of time. How long did it take for you to become very fluent and become as confident as you are?
Shashank, it took me years.
Took you years, right?
Yeah, I mean, see, like, I mean, I can tell this here, right, publicly, because I do remember when I went to uni, I obviously spoke to you. I mean, I would have spoken to you also like 10 to 15 times, asking, Machang, I have this speech like this, I have to give a speech like this, bro, what should I say? Then what I can only remember Shashank coming and telling. So I sometimes send him the script and say, Machang, I'm going to do this. And Shashank is like, reads to, he tells me, and I'm like, Machang, see, that fear of embarrassment, even though I'm telling this much, because I worked on it and I overcame it. But actually, Shashank also helped me a lot, because sometimes when I speak to Shashank, he's like, Machang, just go for it. Just go for it. You know, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, see, like I said, if you know that you need to work on it, it's okay to ask for help, right? So I always come to you and like, Shashank, I have this speech, what should I say, how should I do it?
Because at the end of the day, people forget. That's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. They think this embarrassment or this laughing that people do at them is permanent. That's not true. I mean, how many of us remember diske ammada diske discard? Right? We don't. But even if we remember it, I mean, when we see that guy, we don't go and say it to him directly.
Exactly.
We don't make fun of him or whatnot. We laughed at him at the time, but it's forgotten.
Yeah.
Right? It's forgotten. Similarly, I mean, there have been so many people, I mean, throughout even our school career, maybe during your university career, you would have seen a lot of people get on stage and bomb.
Yeah.
Right? We remember the Diske Amara thing because he's a popular person.
Yeah.
But most of the other instances where people have got embarrassed in public because of their lack of speech, nobody remembers it. Nobody cares enough about you to remember it. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. A lot of people seem to think the world centers around them, and just because they make one mistake, people will remember it forever. Right? But it's always the people that make the mistakes but continue to keep learning that end up doing better in life.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. How has being able to speak well helped you when you were applying for interviews, when you were trying to get your first job?
Yeah, Shashank. So I think now the way everything is moving around in this world, communication is like the main thing, like interviews, like you said. So every time, since I have practiced so much of, speaking and, in universities and, interactions in English and everything. So when I'm going to interview, I'm just confident, like, I can answer it. So even for that, even till now, even if I'm going for an interview or everything, I still do practice. Like I feel like if you do that homework, like whatever the work you have to put in yourself, and if you know for yourself honestly that you have put in work, then you don't have to worry. So I feel like sometimes people go to interviews and they say nervous. Obviously, the nervous feeling is a very common thing. Like on an interview, you don't know the question they are going to ask. It's common. But if you know for yourself that you have put in work, you know your language, you can speak well, you have dressed well and everything, just go there. Just be authentic. Just give an answer in a way where what you feel about it. That's all about it. Because and like I said, it's practice. So you should, like, now with ChatGPT and everything, now if you just put one question like what are the common interview questions or anything, they will give you questions and answers. So you just have to put in practice. You just have to say, okay, these are the things. Or sometimes I speak to my friends. I'm like, I have an interview like this, and then they sometimes give me tips and what to say and what not to say. Yeah, that's how it is. So it just, like I said, keep practicing. Just put in practice.
I always say practice builds competence and competence builds confidence.
Yes.
Right? We usually feel confident when we know we can do something. And how do we know we can do something? We have made the mistakes early part. We have practiced again and again and again. I mean, talk about it in terms of sports, right? I used to play badminton.
Yeah.
And there used to be players that I know are better than me, right? And so I would always practice to try and beat them, right? And by doing that, I would constantly force myself to practice more, get better than I was before, so that when I meet them in a tournament, when I meet them in a match, I am confident in my ability to beat them.
Yeah.
So even if I lose sometimes, my confidence is not beaten down because I know I have put in the work necessary. And at the end of the day, what happens on that day, you can't really, because he's also good. It's not like the other player is a bad fellow and he hasn't put in the work. So that's just a match of wits in that point, right? Match of effort rather. It's the same for you with tennis, right? Yeah. If you didn't put in the effort, if you didn't put in how many hours of practice do you do a day? I'm assuming about 4 or 5 hours of practice every day.
Yes.
2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. You have to eat properly. You get all of that for an extended period of time to go to that tournament and perform well. Even when it comes to speaking, that's what a lot of people seem to be misguided on. That they think, okay, if I go for a class and I speak in that class once a week for 3 months, I'll be really good. But that's not the case. You have to keep practicing again and again and again and again to become better at being a good speaker. What are the other things that you did to improve your English speaking skills? Are you a reader? Do you watch movies? Do you listen to songs? What are the other things that you did?
So yeah, I used to have a reading habit, then it's paused in the middle.
Why? Because of technology.
I don't know. It just paused in the middle. But just the other thing is I used to watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, when I'm watching movies at home,
I used to watch movies in the prefect's room, bro. One of our favorite pastimes is, for me it was not the prefect's room though. For me it was the drama room.
You had the keys and everything. He had the keys.
Bro, we used to bring our phone to school and then we used to go inside the drama room, lock ourselves inside, we used to watch a movie for a good 3 hours, bro. That's how we learned English. And the best part is most of what we used to watch was Mind Your Language. Bro, there was this one time, so we were inside the drama, about 4 of us. And we were watching Mind Your Language, okay? And then one of the buggers decided that he wanted to go back to the class. So he was bored of staying here. He was like, okay guys, I'm going to go back to the class. He said, okay, if you want, you go. He went out of the drama room, and just as he went out, he got caught right to a priest. Now, Machan, we can hear this bugger. He's now talking to the priest. He's like, where did you come from? Why were you inside here and all that? This fella's like, no, I came to grab some stuff. They're like, who else is in here? We were like, oh shit, we're gonna get caught now. So what we did is we had these massive mattresses, Machan. So on the mattresses, we have the big cloths. Like
Okay.
when I say cloth, it's not like a bed sheet, but it was costumes, drama costumes. So all three of us just covered ourselves with it. I don't know how. So it was a priest. Bago opened the door, right, and he looked inside. And then this fellow behind, see, father, I told you no one else is there. I just came to get the stuff. Masha father closed the door. Go back to where came this bugger and sent him off. Bro, I thought we were going to get dematched that day.
You got caught for that? Definitely best. If you need to.
But that was a good time. So I
You
used
had
to
good
watch
time.
movies in school.
No, so honestly, like, so when I was watching movies, I always used to put on subtitles because sometimes, like you said, they talk very fast, the accent and all. So sometimes those grammatical stuff you can grab from there as well. That's why I said, if the intention is to learn, bro, you can learn from anywhere. So that was there, and then, like I said, I didn't follow like very magical techniques. So whatever the resources I had in front of me, I just made the maximum use out of it.
And you also were in touch with a lot of people who were speaking English. I think even your tennis coach,
Yes.
all the tennis players, and then I think we speak a lot in
School, yes.
school. By the way, I would say about 50-60% of the time we do speak in Sinhala. But yeah, but for anyone, I mean, I know a lot of people in our batch
Yeah.
who really struggle to speak in English, but they made a constant effort to speak with all of us in English.
Yeah.
And as a result, they continue to improve over a period of time. So that's fantastic. When it comes to your job, what do you currently do?
So I'm currently working as a tour executive at Ep Travels. So yeah. for
And
now
you
I'm-
also do tennis coaching, yes?
I used to, but currently I'm not involved in much of those. But yeah, I used to be a tennis coach, yes.
To be a tennis coach. You do something fitness related also, right?
Yeah, I just play, I just play for myself. Like I just go and play a bit of tennis here and there, and sometimes with my friends. That's about it for now.
So in your job, how important has good communication been?
It is because sometimes session I have to, since it's corporate, you have to work with a lot of people in the company and outside the company. So, like I said, English became even more important going there. So then I have, like sometimes yeah, we do communicate here and there in Sinhala, but then English is really important. So then when we are talking to people, like not clients perhaps, but then with the guides or anything, because I'm working in the travels industry with the hotels and everything. So yeah, English is really important there. So a good communication skill and good use of language is very crucial there.
Absolutely. How important do you think it is for people in general to improve their communication skills, to improve their English speaking skills if they want to do better in their lives?
So I would say, so I'll go to my university days and I'll give the example from that, right? So like I told, like how would I say, at least I am coming from an English speaking school, like a good English speaking school, and I did my English medium back then in A levels, so everything was smooth for me back in uni. But to be honest, there were some of my batchmates back in uni and some of my friends who I know back in uni, they just came out of nowhere. I mean, like from different cities, they come to uni and everything is English. And I know some of my friends who came to uni like that ended up getting first classes, ended up getting second uppers. So sometimes I go and have a chat with them. I like, Machang, how's your language doing? How's things with you? How did you improve? Because I also want to learn how did they learn so that I also can learn in the future. So they also say, so for them also to get to know that language, I mean to study English and to learn English, to speak English and everything, they just put a lot of effort. So sometimes, I think these stories many people doesn't know, but local uni students also sometimes we have lectures from 8 to 5, and after 5, sometimes most of the boys or even girls, they do part-time jobs. So sometimes those jobs finish at 8, 9, and they come back to their boardings, hostels, they study English. So I go and ask them, they're like, no much, I read the same notes again and again. It was say I sometimes put it to Google Translator, translate it and study like that. I used to read, I used to watch movies, I used to listen to people when they are speaking. I used to listen to podcast, you know. So like that, you know, those people learnt like that. So I think anyone who's watching this, if you all really want to learn English, I would simply say first, you know, put in effort. Like you should be able to put in effort. That's number one. And number two, make it an intention to learn for yourself. Don't go for expectation of others, or you know, මම මේක කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට තමයි මට මේගොල්ලෝ මෙහෙම no. මට මේක කරන්න ඕනේ because මට ඕන හින්දා. Because I feel like this will help me. Do it in that way. Like make sure that's mostly intrinsic. If that motivation or if that discipline, if it's most of the times, if it's intrinsic session, I feel like you will do even more better, right? And the other thing is, put yourself in environments where you're uncomfortable, or maybe if you're not a much of a person who doesn't speak English much, go to places where people mostly or somewhat interact in English. So then you will learn those words, the grammar, what sort of a vocabulary they use, and how do they, the body language, how do they speak. I think I also learned a lot from, like I said, prefecture when I joined the English medium. We had to click. Then I saw how you all speak to each other, the jokes, and then you know how you all used to. Right, yeah. So those things also, you know, we can learn from that as well, right? So I think yeah. So just you can go out and interact with some people, just but maybe you can have a friend like who can like teach you. So I used to have from some friends, you, and I had some other friends also. If I don't understand a word or understand a meaning or understand something on how to say something.
So Ashane was another guest we had back in the day. Okay. And the best way he said for anyone that doesn't know English to learn English well, how get a girlfriend who speaks good English.
Well, whatever Ashane told, I'm just
It's
telling
true.
it's true. Whatever Ashane told, I'm just trying to tell it even more in a nicer way. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. When a girlfriend is speaking in very good English, and if you don't know English, you're screwed. Then that will motivate you.
I actually had a couple that I trained. Okay, these guys were from Oman.
Okay.
And the girl was a real go-getter. Okay, she was motivated. She wanted to learn, and she would speak in English. Her English was good. The boy was really struggling, right? The boy was really struggling, and then so I told them to start practicing. Okay, and then now you know me, I give them motivation. I tell them to speak and all that. And so while both of them in the class, I said, okay, from today onwards, I want you all both to not speak in Tamil, not speak in Sinhala. I want her to speak in English at home. This fucker messages me. He's like, sir, why did you say that, sir? Now she doesn't want to talk to me in any other language. I said, that's great. Now you learn how to speak better.
What a relationship advice. What a relationship advice.
Well, at the end of the classes, they were both speaking English well.
Well, it worked.
So it worked.
It worked. If it works, it works.
It works.
It works.
But yeah.
But what a good relationship advice.
Yeah. That girl was good. She was a real go-getter. We just dragged the fellow along. So even in my own house, something similar has happened, right? Where my mother is a real go-getter. So she wanted to speak English and she wanted to improve the English of all of us, right? Because at home we speak in Sinhala.
She was a lecturer at our university as well?
She was a lecturer, right? So at home we speak in Sinhala. But when we were small, especially now not so much, but when we were small, we used to have to sit down with her, the whole family, father, me, my brother, everybody. And for that 1 hour or 2 hours, we can only talk in English. Everybody doesn't really want to do that. But we had no choice. But as a result of that, I mean, all of us, my father, myself, my brother, all of us learned how to speak English quite well. And to me personally, in my own life, I would say every opportunity that has come my way and every job that I'm doing now is thanks to my ability to communicate. And I would never have got that had our parents or my mother or my father had not put us through that drill. Because even my father, although he initially struggled to speak in English, he would also encourage us to speak in English as much as possible. And with us, he would always try to speak in English, he'd always try to communicate in English. And as a result of that, I think all four of us started speaking English well, and my brother and I were able to study in English medium. And my brother actually, he had some trouble speaking Sinhala initially.
Joshua, what is this, Joshua? What is this?
I told this in some other podcast also, okay? And my brother calls me about 2 weeks later. Here, did you say that I had trouble speaking Sinhala? I was like, yeah.
Well, that's the truth.
That's the truth.
What is this, Joshua?
The thing is, his friends, I think, must be watching this and clipping it and sending it to the bugger. That was hilarious. But yeah, so do you still speak, you don't speak in English at home? Your brother, does he study in English medium as well?
Followed my same path. 1 to 11 Tamil medium,
Now
A-levels English medium.
He's still in school, right?
He's doing A-levels this year, yeah.
He's doing A-levels this year. Do you all speak in English or Tamil?
Tamil mostly.
Tamil mostly. Nice.
And he also can speak English, I think, since I also learned English, and then I also, I mean, from school environment and everything, so now he also can speak English as well, yeah.
All right. So before we wrap things up, do you have any final advice or any final words to tell the audience that's watching? Because the audience that watches our videos are mainly people that either are struggling to speak English and they're watching these videos to learn how they can speak better, or it's people that can already speak English to a certain level but struggle to speak in front of an audience confidently.
Right.
What final words would you leave them with?
Yeah, so just to give a summary of like whatever we spoke, I mean, I would simply say, number thing, just it's okay to be embarrassed, but take it as, if you ever felt embarrassed, just take it as a motivation and try to learn. Just always make sure your intention is to learn. Make sure that's very intrinsic. Like it's the motivation should, like, you can go to anyone to study English session, like anyone, like you can go for big names and everything. But if the intention is not within you, if you don't want to learn, wherever you go, you won't do it. That's number one. And number two, put in effort. Like I would say, even though I'm speaking in a podcast right now today, I think for me to at least to come to a podcast like this and speak, I think it took me years. Like I would say, definitely I would say like 10 years, not 10 years, but yeah, some time to be confidently speak like this. But even if you ask me to do a podcast back in 2020 or 2019, I would have done so, because I was like, okay, fine, because I had confidence. So like you said, you need to put in work, and then it builds competence, and competence builds confidence. So that's how it works. So number two, you have to put in effort. Number three, it's the environment. So I would say a good circle of friends. Have people who will like help you to learn and who will actually help you grow in terms of speaking English. Like if you are they say, I mean, this is something Seshan told me. You are a product of the 4 people who you associate the most. So if you want to learn English, have some friends who speak more English.
Or get a girlfriend.
Or get a girlfriend. Yeah, get a girlfriend who can speak really good English, or who's coming from a school that is like very English dominant school. Then obviously, yeah,
You'll pick up your English.
you will definitely pick up your English.
All right, super. Thanks, Srinath. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Seshan, for having me.
All
It's a
right.
pleasure. Thank you.
Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend, let us know your comments down below. Until our next video, keep practicing.